Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
So, what if the most effective blackmail isn't based on a truth you've hidden, but on a lie you simply can't disprove? Imagine a lie that's tailor-made for you, cooked up by a machine that knows every single one of your weaknesses. Okay, let's really get into this because this goes way beyond just deepfakes. We're talking about the very real potential for AI to automate manipulation on a scale that could, well, it could fundamentally reshape reality as we know it. And this quote right here, it just nails it. The most powerful kind of control, it's not about brute force. It's about finding that one little vulnerability, that one string, and just giving it a tug. Our own minds do all the heavy lifting after that. So before we can even begin to unpack what AI is capable of, we first have to look at the glitches in our own programming. All right, so let's start with the operating system that we all run on, the human brain. It's got some absolutely incredible features, for sure, but it also comes with a few, let's call them pre-installed vulnerabilities. And the thing is, these aren't bugs, they're features, and they've been exploited by people long, long before the first line of code was ever even written. Take empathy. It's one of our greatest strengths as a species, right? But it can be completely weaponized against us. You see, manipulators get really good at framing their demands as desperate needs, and our personal boundaries as just being cruel. Our deep-seated desire to be a good person gets twisted, convincing us that self-sacrifice is how you measure kindness. So we end up talking ourselves into tolerating things we shouldn't, not because we're weak, but because our own empathy has been turned into a leash. Then there's this weird psychological quirk of distance. We are capable of tolerating and even contributing to immense harm as long as we feel disconnected from the consequences. A lot of harmful systems survive, not because people are inherently evil, but because the interface is clean. The results are just abstract numbers on a screen. We make these choices from a sanitized distance, totally removed from the messiness of the outcome, and that allows us to just press the button over and over and over again without really feeling responsible. And here's maybe the most unsettling glitch of them all, your memory. It's not a video recording. It's a reconstruction. It's a story your brain tells itself, and it's constantly being edited to protect your ego. When a hard fact challenges one of your core beliefs, your brain doesn't just update the belief. Sometimes it retroactively convinces you that you never really believed that old thing in the first place. It literally reframes the past to create a version of events that lets you sleep at night. So think about it. If your own mind is editing reality without your permission, how can you ever really trust what you think you know? Now, these individual glitches, they don't just exist in a vacuum. For more than 100 years, systems of power have been getting better and better at exploiting them on a massive scale. So let's take a quick look at how that whole game has evolved, from being really obvious to something much, much more subtle. This lays it out perfectly. On the one hand, you've got the classic Orwellian model, right? Overt, top-down control using pain and fear, the boot on the face. But then there's the much more sophisticated model, the one pioneered by guys like Edward Bernays. It doesn't need a boot. It works by linking products and ideas to our deepest unconscious desires, making us want the things the system needs us to want. It's not about forcing your hand. It's about guiding your hand so you're absolutely convinced you made the choice all by yourself. And this gets us to the idea of manufacturing consent, a term from Noam Chomsky. His argument was that for propaganda to really land, it needs the stamp of approval from the educated classes. The trusted experts, the journalists, the academics who frame all the issues for us. By setting the boundaries of what counts as a serious debate, they create this very narrow window of what's acceptable to think, all while we feel like we're having a free and open discussion. It's brilliant in a way. So we've gone from our own psychology to mass propaganda. Now, let's add the rocket fuel. Let's bring in the technology that has supercharged this entire process and created a whole new economic logic that basically runs the modern world. This right here is the engine of the digital age. The term was coined by Shoshana Zuboff, and surveillance capitalism is not just about selling you ads. No. It's about a system that claims our private human experiences as a free source of raw material. All our likes, our searches, our conversations, that's the behavioral surplus. And it's used to build prediction products that don't just serve us, but are designed to predict and ultimately modify our future behavior. And it basically works in 3 steps. First, our data is just taken. Expropriated. Second, incredibly powerful AI sifts through all that data to build these predictive models of our behavior, figuring out exactly what makes us tick. And third, and this is the real kicker, The system uses those predictions to actively shape our reality. It curates our news feeds, our shopping recommendations, our entire information environment, all to nudge us toward the most profitable outcomes. And this is where all the threads come together. This is the final escalation. We're moving beyond just shaping what you do to shaping what you perceive, what you remember, shaping your reality itself. This is where AI's true power comes into scary focus and where the threat becomes deeply, deeply personal. Just let that sink in for a second. We already know our own brains are unreliable narrators, right? They edit our memories, they're full of biases we don't even see. So what happens when an external system, an AI, has a more accurate, more complete record of your past actions and a much better understanding of your psychological triggers than you do? This is the terrifying potential. It's called digital gaslighting. It's basically a term for using AI to automate and hyper-personalize psychological abuse. And it can come from anywhere, a state, a corporation, even inside a personal relationship. We're not talking about some obvious, clumsy deepfake here. We're talking about introducing tiny, subtle seeds of doubt, systematically eroding your trust in your own mind by showing you a slightly different, algorithmically generated version of your own past. So what does this synthetic blackmail actually look like in practice? Well, imagine getting a slightly tweaked transcript of an old chat that suddenly makes you look like the unreasonable one, or hearing a short audio clip of your own voice agreeing to something you know you never did, or just being fed a constant, algorithmically tuned stream of information that reinforces a false story about a politician or a rival or even about yourself until the sheer relentless repetition makes it feel true. This isn't just misinformation anymore. This is personalized, weaponized reality. I mean, the implications here are just profound. This isn't just another flashy tech trend we're talking about. This is a fundamental shift in the very nature of power and of truth itself. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. For most of history, power meant controlling the narrative. It meant owning the printing press or the broadcast tower. It was about shaping the public story. But with personalized AI, the goal isn't just to shape the public narrative anymore. It's to shape your private one. It's to control the very building blocks of your individual reality. So, in the end, we're left with this question. If our own memories can be edited from the inside by our brains, and now they can be edited from the outside by AI, what's our anchor? What do we hold on to? When synthetic blackmail becomes literally indistinguishable from the truth, who or what gets to be the final arbiter of what is real?